Tonight on 12 News, a Golden Valley neighborhood disrupted in the middle of the night by a suspect trying to flee police, how it started and how it all ended. Plus, a Maple Grove manufacturer named one of the best to work for. See what sets this company apart. But first, a new report on graduation rates, what it says about local schools. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. New numbers out today show more Minnesotans are graduating from high school than ever before.
The Minnesota Department of Education says the class of 2015 had a nearly 82% graduation rate, a slight increase over the year before. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains how the numbers break down for our local schools. Shannon?
Mike and Alex, while the numbers this year show only a slight improvement from last year, if you compare them to numbers taken just 4 years ago, the improvement is vast. The graduation rate is the percentage of students who finished high school 4 years after they started 9th grade. In Wayzata, that number is 96%. Champlin Park is 91%, Hopkins 91%, and Brooklyn Center 87%, which is up a whopping 16 points from where they were 4 years ago. In Robbinsdale, 84% at Armstrong and 83% at Cooper. That's up 8 points from 2011. And over in the Osseo School District, Maple Grove is at 97%, Park Center at 82%, and Osseo Senior High at 87%. That is also up 8 percentage points.
We have had continual improvement for multiple years. It's one thing to have a little flash in the pan. This is really about a steady march towards graduating all of our students on time.
Bridging the achievement gap made notable strides too. The gap narrowed by 12% across the state. And Mike and Alex, Don Pasco at Osseo Area Schools says the numbers point not to a particular program for success, but rather a change of mindset toward that individualized learning we've been hearing so much about.
These numbers are geared for graduating in 4 years, right? Which of course is preferred, but what about 5 years? Kids that might take an extra year.
Right, those numbers are taken into account too, and those numbers are also strong. Actually, in Osseo, out of the 15% of students who did not graduate in 4 years, over half of that graduated in 5 years. So that's good news as well.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot, Shannon.
A brief police chase early Sunday morning ended in a quiet Golden Valley neighborhood.
And officers pursued 2 men in a stolen truck when one of the suspects tried to flee on foot. We get more from Eric Nelson.
The chase began on eastbound I-394. A Golden Valley police officer spotted someone driving a truck erratically.
When they ran the license plate, it came back as a stolen pickup truck out of Owatonna.
Police then pursued the driver and a passenger to Highway 55 and Rhode Island and tried to pull them over.
At that point, the driver of the vehicle chose not to stop and chose to flee from the officers in the squad. Are in his car.
From there, the driver turned into a residential area and wound up crashing into a cluster of trees. The driver attempted to escape on foot, but did not get too far.
It's obvious he had no idea probably where he was going.
Golden Valley officers, with help from the Plymouth Canine Unit, eventually found the suspect hiding in a crawl space under a house.
When officers flashed their light underneath the crawl space, they could clearly see that person kind of hunched up along the side.
Officers arrested the suspect without further incident.
He actually, after verbal commands from the officers, and I'm sure a little help from the dog barking, he actually came out on his own.
The 27-year-old driver from Vermillion, Minnesota, now faces 3 felony charges.
One of them fleeing police in a motor vehicle, the other fleeing police on foot, and the final one was possession of stolen property. In Golden Valley, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
The passenger in the car is the driver's brother. He did not flee the scene and is facing a charge of tampering with a motor vehicle.
It's a first for the city of New Hope.
1, 2, 3.
The city has its very first medical clinic. North Memorial Healthcare held a grand opening celebration over the weekend for the clinic located next to the Hy-Vee grocery store. It actually is a relocation of the Rockford Road Clinic in Plymouth, about a mile away.
It's an exciting day, a much larger clinic than what they had before. It will give the providers opportunity to grow and to be able to see more patients in the community.
Doctors and staff helped give input on the design of the new clinic. Patients can also expect technology upgrades to make their visit easier and reduce wait times. The New Hope Clinic offers everything from preventative services to acute care to specialty services such as skin and foot care. You may have also seen an express care clinic inside the Hy-Vee grocery store. It's meant to be an extension of the New Hope Primary Care Clinic.
A mental health treatment program may consolidate offices in New Hope. The nonprofit People Incorporated wants to buy an office and a warehouse building on Boone Avenue with plans to convert it into a children's mental health treatment facility. It would move programs now operating in Brooklyn Park and Golden Valley to the New Hope building. People Incorporated runs a day treatment program where a child spends half a day in school and the other half at the site for therapy and skills training. New Hope City officials say they are happy to get the site cleaned up and welcome the new jobs People Incorporated will bring.
A truck sales company has an eye on a piece of land in Brooklyn Park, and it's offering residents a chance to provide feedback on the design process. The Rim Kenworth Motor Company is proposing a 40,000 square foot office and truck sales and service facility for the southwest corner of Interstate 94 and County Road 81. Rim Kenworth is family-owned, and the company got its start in St. Paul in the 1930s. No plans have been formally submitted to the city yet, but a neighborhood meeting on the proposed development is set for Thursday evening at Brooklyn Park City Hall.
Expect delays Tuesday morning on I-94. MnDOT will reduce I-94 to 2 lanes between St. Michael and Rogers. The work will begin at 7 a.m. Tuesday, starting with the westbound lanes before shifting to the eastbound lanes. All lanes should reopen by 3 p.m. Plans to potentially solve a parking crunch in Plymouth are expected to go to a vote on Tuesday. The Plymouth Ice Center and Lifetime Complex is one of the busiest recreational facilities in the state, drawing almost 500,000 visitors annually. The City Council is expected to decide on a $1.1 million plan to expand the parking lot. The city previously tried to go ahead with the plan last year, but the bids came back too high. Still ahead, what makes a Maple Grove manufacturer one of the best companies to work for.
And then a bit later in sports, local gymnasts compete for titles at the state meet.
But first, winter isn't going away just yet. There's a chance for snow showers Tuesday morning.
A Maple Grove manufacturing company is named Manufacturer of the Year.
And at the very same time, it's in the running for Minnesota Business Magazine's 100 Best Companies to Work For. In this week's Business Matters report, a look at what makes this workplace tops.
The stuff that we do is cool. It's fun.
It's significant. After more than 30 years with the company, CEO Richard Barr still lights up when describing the latest machine built at his Maple Grove manufacturing company.
This machine has 7 robots on it, which is like wicked cool. I mean, it's fun.
The team at MGS Machine designed and built this multi-million-dollar machine that will package surgical sutures for a global pharmaceutical company, and it does it twice as fast.
We have a lot of gear and gadget people here. I mean, these are the kind of people that, not only they work here and they enjoy doing the techie stuff that we do, but they build race cars on weekends and they write code at home and build their own home theater systems from scratch.
Spend a little time at this company and it's clear workplace culture matters.
Hey, good morning.
Creativity is fostered by the Hawaiian shirt-wearing CEO, and work-life balance is prized with half days on Fridays.
You can't just put something on a wall and say this is your culture. I mean, you really have to live it. And it begins with me, frankly.
When you talk about people and you talk about growth and you talk about manufacturing and strategy, the conversation really starts and ends with people.
That workplace culture at MGS Machine and the company's ability to weather a downturn in the export market caught the attention of Golden Valley-based trade association Manufacturers Alliance, which recently named MGS Machine its Small Manufacturer of the Year.
It's really inspiring for other manufacturers to be able to learn, hey, we're not alone and we can get through these issues too. and we could go take a closer look at what a company like MGS is doing.
Currently, a good domestic market is helping MGS Machine grow. But its CEO is quick to point out even that couldn't happen without the right people.
Yeah, I know it's cliche, but I mean, it's really a reflection of the work that people do here and the great projects that we have and the great people.
MGS Machine will be recognized in April by the Manufacturers Alliance. Coming up, a Minnesota Teacher of the Year candidate's interesting way of teaching about Black History Month.
But first in sports, Maple Grove's girls hockey team plays an overtime game, that is, in the state final. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Well, Maple Grove girls hockey rewrote a lot of sports history for the school this season, but not quite the final chapter yet.
But it was so close, too. They had a chance to win right near the end and end up losing it. But they're a great season, no doubt. Maple Grove's girls hockey team made quite a postseason run. After winning the program's first section title, the Crimson won their first 2 state tournament games, including a semifinal upset of top-seeded Hill Murray. Maple Grove's ready to go to face Eden Prairie then for the Class AA title. Up 1-0, Eden Prairie works a nice give and go. Anna Gravel back to Rachel Wardeen, and the Eagles go up 2-0 through 2 periods. But Maple Grove doesn't fold. Haley Herdeen's high shot off of Alexa Dubchek's blocker. Katie Denicky buries the rebound, and Maple Grove is on the board. They are within 2-1. Just over a minute later, the first try is stopped, but Maya Martinez knocks the rebound in, and this ties the game up at 2. Late in the third period, Taylor Wente gets a breakaway chance, but Dubchek makes the pad save, and the game goes to overtime. In OT, Wente nearly wins it again, but her shot here goes off the pipe. Maple Grove, shorthanded, then takes a second penalty. That leads to the game winner as Lauren Overlay puts it away on a 5-on-3 power play. Maple Grove gives a great effort, but they fall 3-2 in overtime. In boys hockey, Wayzata owned 3 wins this season over Edina, coming into their Section 6AA semifinal matchup with the Hornets. Edina looking to pull the upset on the higher-seeded Trojans. Clayton Phillips will sneak a shot through from the point on the power play, and Edina nets the only goal of the first period. Coach Pat O'Leary's Wayzata team controls the second. Tyler Stevens gets control of the puck and gets it to Amar Batra for the wrist shot under the crossbar. And this one ties the game at 1-1. Grant Anderson threads the needle of the pass to Jeff Greniger, and he scores on the rush, giving Wayzata a 2-1 lead. Anderson's point shot is saved, but Matt Cossette puts a rebound away to make a 3-1 Trojans. It's 3-2 Wayzata after 2. Dylan Riley's midair deflection finds the net in the third period for another Wayzata goal, and the Trojans win it 5-3. A big upset in the other semifinal as previously unbeaten and top-ranked Benilde falls to Cretin-Derham Hall in overtime. So it's the Raiders against Wayzata for the title Wednesday night at 6 at Mariucci Arena. In Section 5AA, top-seeded Blaine took on Maple Grove in one of the semifinals. First period, the Bengals' Riley Tufte with a great pass to Max Bach. He scores. Blaine has a 1-0 lead after 1. Second period, down 2-1. Maple Grove's Trevor Janicki with a blast that gets in, and the Crimson will tie it up at 2. Brady Goodman had a big game between the pipes for the Crimson. He'll make a save here, one of 37 he had in the game to keep the game tied. Under 9 minutes to go, still 2-2. The Bengals turn it over on their own end. Janicki skates in and goes in on the backhander for a goal, and Maple Grove takes the lead for good at 3-2. Sam Ross sets up Jarrett Camerata on the doorstep for a goal, and Maple Grove is up on the top-seeded Bengals 4-2. Blaine pulled within 4-3, but the Crimson had 2 empty net goals, including a hat trick for Janicki. Maple Grove advances to the final with a 6-3 win. Maple Grove faces Anoka for the Section 5AA title. That game is Thursday night at 7 at Aldrich Arena in Maplewood. One night after the team gymnastics meet in Minneapolis, the individual state meet took place. Several local girls from Section 5AA qualified for state. Champlin Park's 7th grader Cheney New had a great night. She scored a 9.45 to place 5th overall on the balance beam. To the floor exercise, Champlin Park's Taylor Gokeen competing in her final high school meet. capped off a great career, placing 8th overall with a score of 9.55. Wayzata all-arounder Grace Trainor's best event was the floor exercise. She came in with a score of 9.45 to finish in 13th place. It was a really good night for Section 5AA on the vault. Park Center's Haley Illy, her only event of the night, she lands with a score of 9.7, and she places 3rd in Class AA. Competing right after Illy was Champlin Park's Liz Hammond. And Hammond earns a score of 9.675 and comes in 4th place. New wasn't far behind. Her mark 9.575 for this vault. She finishes 5th in the vault, 3rd in the Class AA all-around with a score of 37.975. So a great ending for a lot of those girls Saturday night.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a Robbinsdale theater showered with social media love.
Plus, a New Hope special ed teacher's creative way of teaching about Black History Month. We'll be right back. Well, here's something you might not know. There is a trend in the historic preservation community called heart bombing.
That's right. Heart bombing is a visible way for citizens to show their support for a historic property they believe should be preserved. Save the Terrace Theater hosted a heart bombing Saturday and invited the community to share why they love the Terrace. Some passionate supporters came out to hold hearts and signs. One sign read, "Save the Terrace, this place matters." This year, the group is celebrating 65 years of the Terrace Theater with long-term goals underway to preserve and open up the building once again. One of Minnesota's nominees for Teacher of the Year has come up with a creative way to educate her students about Black History Month.
Hello, I'm Muhammad Ali. My nickname is The Greatest. I was born January 17, 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky.
Students from New Hope's North Education Center in the Intermediate School District 287 took part in a Black History Wax Museum. Students would stand still until someone came along and pushed a button. Then they would get into character and share information about historical African-American figures. It was the idea of special education teacher Pat Beatty, who said that not everything can be taught from a textbook.
I always thought that getting kids connected to what they're learning and why they're learning is way more important than what's going to come out of a textbook. Because we can just read what comes out of a textbook, but it doesn't make that life connection.
There were 15 students participating in the activity today, and some of the historical figures they learned about included Roberto Clemente, Frederick Douglass, and Barack Obama. There you go. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow starting at 4.